Hey all, this is Brian, aka Composer Beard. Why Composer Beard, you ask? Well, why not? Anyway, I've been seeing some comments and threads online lately from both composer side and the directors and producer side of things about how to effectively communicate about the score. So I've been thinking about it a lot lately, and I just wanted to share my thoughts with my fellow storytellers and noisemakers out there. And my white-ass beard should tell you that I've been around a minute or two, eh? Yeah. So, look, it's no stretch of the imagination to say that effective communication is huge when it comes to collaboration, collaborating well, and getting the best possible result from the music for the story. Now, strictly speaking, composers don't need to speak in musical terms when meeting with directors and producers of a project. In fact, unless the director or producer is highly versed in musical theory and composition, those types of conversations can be extraordinarily detrimental to the collaboration, otherwise as bad. Let me put it like this. Imagine you're shooting a bow and arrow. You're experienced, you've done it many times over, but you're blindfolded and you can't see the target downrange. You've got no idea what it looks like, what the shape of it is, how big it is, how far away it is, or any other challenges like wind speed and direction. In other words, you're the composer who doesn't yet have a clear vision for the project. Now, you are being assisted by somebody who has no practical knowledge or maybe a tiny bit of very basic general knowledge about archery, but this person made the target. They built it, they shaped it, they set it up and placed it downrange themselves. They know what they want you to do with it. This is the director and producer with a clear vision of the end result, but has little to no technical knowledge of music and composition. So how in the world does this person help you perceive the target and direct you to hit that target within 1 or 2 attempts? Well, composers need a complete understanding of precisely what the story and characters are doing or feeling in any given moment or scene. It's then the composer's entire job to figure out and manifest how to hit that target. Right? So determining a force, angle, choosing best tools for the job, like what kind of bows and arrows to use, so, and so on and so on. All of that so that the score review in later conversations during post-productions can then be about tweaking final results. And it avoids needing to have the composer rewrite entire cues, maybe even multiple times. So all that said, right, of course, you need to have conversations up front about style and overall big picture vibes of, what kind of instrumentation the composer should be working with. Like, is the vision from the creative leads for a cinematic orchestra heavy with thematic content and Wagnerian leitmotifs, or should the score be more synthetic and minimally ambient with few to no themes at all? Should it be dark and mysterious, thrilling and suspenseful, warm and uplifting? Should it be a pop-sounding score, a folksy vibe, jazzy neo-noir, rock metal guitar-driven feel? Those are great things to discuss. Those are broad strokes. In early meetings and conversations, these are those broad strokes that we want to be painting with musically. If you're the director or producer, those are the types of directions to give the composer in any kind of musical terms. Beyond that, forget about it. The number one most important thing to me as the composer that you are entrusting with the music is that I want to hear you tell me what your story is and who your characters are in your own words. Now, I'm happy to read your script, but this is just telling me what happens and what the characters say or do, and it doesn't necessarily tell me who your characters are, why they make the choices that they make, and why it matters. I can draw conclusions all day long from a script, but they may not be the same conclusions that you want me to take away from reading it. I'd much rather hear it from you and have a thoughtful, mindful discussion about it. It doesn't even need to be a long one. I just don't want to guess. Personally, I'm on the spectrum. I'm very bad at guessing. So I'd rather hear you tell me about the story and the characters way more than trying to sort out the finer points of musical process because, that's not what we need, right? Let's talk about the story. Let's talk about the characters. Those are the key elements that drive the emotional experience and are going to define what details that the music will use to support that emotional experience for the audience. So if you're the composer, those are the things that you should be asking about. Now, I hope my thoughts make sense, all right? But if you have any questions or want to discuss anything about my thoughts here, just please reach out, all right? I live for this stuff. It doesn't matter if we agree on everything or not, but if it helps you and I and other creatives come together in better communication, to have a better collaboration, a better film, series, game, audiobook, whatever, it's all valuable and worthy of our time. So I'm here. Hit me up. Whew. Right. That's it. Thanks so much for listening. If you're a filmmaker friend, go tell your story. And if you're a composer, go make some noise. Cheers all.